Professor Sangroula. Too many things have already been said. It's not very many new things that I'm expected to share with you. I'm an academician and I'm a lawyer. So an academician generally attempts to share more in theoretical perspectives rather than what you should do and what you should not do. But academicians are a little critical. Sure, we always start thinking, but it's a fundamental problem that we have not been able to make something for the benefit that we are supposed to have. My first impression, both working in academic sector, also sometime in consultant as a government, my involvement in China as an academician too. These all kind of things that my impression, my hypothesis that I start with is that we have been talking a lot of big things, BRI, big road, big project, railway, agriculture, everything. But do we have a community of businessmen to do these kind of things? We often say that government didn't plan this. We often say that government is not signing proper agreement. But then what business people are doing? The first thing, if you really want to make BRI work perfectly, every business house should develop its plan of action to benefit, because government is facilitator, government is not implementer. That is what I believe. And that is where is the biggest problem I see. But then we all are here. We are the actors. But what we have been saying today, that government should do this, government should not do this. This is where the perception should be changed, is my first hypothesis I would like to start with. But then my perception is like BRI is not merely a business. BRI is not merely construction. BRI is not something money and financial issue that we often think about. We have a culture in every part of the world that big concepts ultimately boil down to a small program or small strategy. So that's how BRI is being boiling down in Nepal, not as something, a very important concept leading the world in a different way, but we have been much talking about a business, and within the business setting, when we think BRI in Nepal, mostly now think that BRI means railway from Kerung to Lumbini. This is what I think misconception that we should come out. If we see international perspective today is seeing a great paradigm shift in the context of rise of China and other developing countries, playing a vital role in international politics. This is where BRI is very significant. The old is different. China has become a very important country to play a role in international politics, and Russia. Okay, so if we see the world today, which we should be very clear when we are talking about BRI, unipolar world, its war perspective and immediate post-Cold War perspective. That means this contemporary development epitomizes a rapid process of rise of the new political and economic order. So, BRI therefore should not be seen only as a construction business. It should be seen as a vital shift of international order in political as well as economic sense from the one which we had experienced in the past. That means that globalization under unipolar leverage is now giving way to a new globalization. And what is therefore is this new globalization? Where Nepal wants to fit in, where Nepal wants to go with, and whom Nepal wants to trust much. Definitely we have to consider this issue. This globalization is described by Chinese President Xi Jinping is an effort to create a common destiny with shared future. So therefore, we should stop at this point thinking that BRI is a project. BRI is an international philosophy that affects international relations, that affects international politics, that affects the behavior of state in the world. That means this concept has been inspired by history of Asia. So that is how very important. China in particular, what China's philosophers have started saying that basically a lot of academia in Chinese Institute of Social Science, they say that BRI is a tool, is an instrument to revive not the Silk Road, but something even before. This is called Tianxia. That is something like everyone is under the same heaven. That means harmonious coexistence. So for the harmonious coexistence, Silk Road played a very vital role in those days. So Chinese government wants to revive the Silk Road, but within the Silk Road, Chinese government also want to create a tool of cooperation, that is what is called Belt and Road. So history shows that there was a philosophy in our part, China and South Asia, that we should live together. That means Belt and Road is a philosophy to give message to those countries who still survive in this world, say that it is international politics is a power game. No. International politics should be shifted by a harmonious coexistence, not by the polarization. So there is a conflict of philosophy right now. Some people is still trying to go to power game politics, and Asia, especially China, is voicing a concern that no, it is not the power game, but it is the coexistence theory that we have to work with. And if we have to work with this theory, then couple of things very important is like each country should benefit from others' development. So that means China has economically developed. Scientifically, China still has to develop a lot. But what China's message through Belt and Road is that we have enough economic development, please benefit from us. So what China is calling is that bring your technology, we have our money. So that's a kind of relation. Only then coexistence is possible. You bring your good technology, we have our money, let's work together. We neither have money nor technology. So how do we work with China? Is one very important thing that we have to start discussing. But we always expecting Belt and Road that it is another form of Chinese assistance. So China will come with a lot of money, will invest in Nepal, and he creates another ring road, gives to government, is not what I think we should understand that way. Third thing, development can be achieved without cost of one's national sovereignty. It is not necessary that when we work together, we have to cause cost to another country's national sovereignty. But in the past, when we work too much with Western countries, with World Bank, with International Monetary Fund, and we work with USAID, we work with DFID, billions and billions and billions and rupees. We still have some project to show. Japan constructed this road. We have one road. China constructed this road. We have ring road. India constructed BRI hospital. What have we to remember what America gave to us? Europe gave to us? Is there anything? Please think about it. Everything soft influence, and today we are looking for our culture. We are looking for our language. We are looking for our unity. We are looking for our harmony. So Belt and Road is not only a road. We are to be benefited from this philosophy broadly that Nepal wants to exist as a nation without cost of our national sovereignty. So Nepal wants to work with China. Okay, fine, but not in the cost of our national sovereignty, and we want to do the same with India. So this is a new philosophy that we are getting the most important thing. That's what I have been teaching to my students. So I'm not much talking whether agriculture farm is good or road is important, but I'm teaching my student that we are trying to get a new philosophy of survival for a small country like this. And this is what is called Tianxia. Tianxia means China, big country, India, big country, Nepal, small country. It is not necessary to say that we are M, but we can live together under the same heaven. That means harmonious coexistence. This philosophical importance is not understood, then probably our business cannot go well. So there is no zero-sum game in international relation. Therefore, we have conflicts, we have challenges, but we also have prospects. So in that sense, coming to the Nepal. If you want to read what Belt and Road probably can give to Nepal, recently Dr. Madhuraman ji also said very good, how to harmonize our policy with the BRI, how to harmonize our policy with China, how to harmonize our policy with India, how to harmonize our laws, coastal laws. Many things are there, but we are not thinking in those kind of things. We're totally ignoring those kind of things. But very important thing what I understand when we do talk of Nepal is that Nepal should first think, should start thinking that we are able to do business. That's where we should start. Are we able to do business? Our industrial houses, instead of being treated and expecting to be treated like business houses, please don't be angry for that. They want to look like more Vyaparis rather than industrial houses. If we don't change this small chicken heart and small mindset, I think we cannot use BRI, because where there is billions of dollars issue. But we have been talking about this still, if I get a project, how do we think? 1 billion Nepalese rupees project, 20 million for minister, 20 million for CDO and other, and then 50 million. So that's how we have been thinking. We have to come out of this sphere and say that I am a businessman, I am a business house, I work with ethics, I do not bribe you. If you challenge, if you challenge me, then I am able to point out my finger. This is what I think BRI should start with, and then we can go. So in the context of China's rise followed by Belt and Road issue, what I see something very important is Nepal's geopolitical strategy has completely changed. We are not today, I am a citizen of Nepal today, not with the citizen 10 years before. I am completely confident that no state in the world is going to point out a finger to this country now, because China and India's rise today, Nepal also rose very strongly, so we are more independent today, but we are not sensing it. So with China and India's rise, Nepal's geopolitical situation and role in international relations has begun shifting from as a landlocked country to Nepal as a transit country with two big nations and two big concepts. One, but the question is there, how do we use this? One is very important. So one question is political significance of BRI. Nepal's independence is being virtually transformed into a regime of international law. So now we are governed by international law, not by the dictation of India, not by the dictation of European Union, not by dictation of China, not by dictation of America. We have started thinking that we should be governed by international law, and that's why. So we have started talking Montevideo Convention. India, you cannot block it because Montevideo Convention has given us power to select what kind of constitution that we want to go with, is what we have started saying. This is one thing. Second, diplomacy. We are now gaining interlocutors' role in South Asia. This is what the Sushma Swaraj came. Many people talked in a different way, but I felt very happy for that, because China, India started coming to see Nepal's leader and try to see that Nepal should play interlocutor's role and pass message to China. Okay, so this is what we are going to be very important country, but then we have to come up. If we see the economy, I will be finishing quickly. If we see economy, then we are gaining opportunity as clearinghouse between China and South Asia. That is what the most important benefit for me. Okay,
in economy, like looking from the diplomatic perspectives of interlocutor, and then we have been using international law as a sovereign nation, as an independent nation, so we will be clearing house between two. In the last one, I am not saying that tomorrow we will be clearing house and we will be clearing goods for China from India and goods for India from China. No. In the end, this is what we have to see. We have to first learn to see. If couples do not think of begetting child and creating a house, it is better they do not marry. That is what I believe in. Sure, if we really want to benefit it from what will tomorrow we will benefit is not important. Up to 20 years where we will be is the most important thing. So start thinking there. That's what Prithvinarayan says, also said. Good people, so that's what China says. If you want to develop and plant tree, establish a school. So we are taking BRI that real will come and how much vegetables will go from Nepal. I think this is not what we have been supposed to discuss about. And what is very important then, like let me give you a couple of items. There is a very detailed discussion I have done. This my article, very long article, is published in Kathmandu School of Law Review. It's available in marketplace. You can buy and read. I will have easier to just point it out to you. One benefit Nepal will gain in the long run is the banking service. Because Nepal will be a clearing house, there will be several international banks like in Switzerland will be here. So establish a kind of educational institutions to support this kind of banking in the days. So BRI relates to education that way. I do not think Kerung and Rashwa. I think how to create a best management colleges in Nepal. So after 10 years when we will produce these people, they will be used by this international bank. Because once Nepal will be connected with BRI banking service should be one very, very important thing. Insurance service. There will be millions of businesses that we will be doing. Transportation, a lot of things, and these things need to be insured. So there will be lot of insurance companies to go up. So we have to start thinking what kind of insurance system that we need to develop. Third, transportation industry, freight clearance service is very important. Suppose that if you believe that China and India will not be coming tomorrow, it is, for me, not believable thing. After 5 years, India will join BRI. You believe it? This is the world is going to go to the different direction. So we should see what is going to happen in future. We should not see what happened in the past alone. Okay. So if we cling only to the past, we will not think in a positive way. So India and China having such a big business will find it is easier from Nepal to do business because India can have biggest market in the West China. And then from West China can go to the Central Asia. So why India will not use this? They will. There is a problem in occupied Kashmir, some issue China and India will resolve it one day. And then if that happens, how many lorries from China and India coming? You see how many drivers you prepare and how many insurance and how many hotels you prepare for them is very important thing. Tourism is fourth. Tourism, I just like to indicate there is a religious tourism. If you connect a flight from Bhairava to Ali, that is called Nari, Kailas, how many flights probably will be flying to Ali to go to see Kailas, because it is almost 75 kilometers from that international airport in Ali. And how many Buddhists will be coming to Lumbini, if you can think that this is one. So this is just an indication. But China is, our colleague from Hong Kong said that so big people coming outbound tourists, if we get 1 million Chinese a year, that would be very big, but we should create that kind of hotel. So that is what we have to change our airport. So the question is not China, question is ourselves. Then what I see very important is medical service, because vast population in India is becoming rich, but it is because of the climatic hot zone. Hospitals need to spend a lot of money for the services, but Nepal is a place where healing is so easy. So if you can have a hospital in a place like Palung, and you can have a post-operative ward in Daman, if you bring 20 lakhs Indian with the international standard, work with the big Chinese hospitals, medicine and doctor, and treat them, do their bypass surgery. I think you will be millionaire. Hospital and medical science is the best thing that we can bring. Chinese traditional medicine, we will involve it with Ayurveda and allopathy, so we will create a new kind of medicine where that would be used by a lot of Indian people. And then South Asia, Nepal's geography is good for healing, that I said. So agricultural productivity can be one very important thing, and this development I think will rise the Nepalese per capita income. Once we will move, we will go ahead, and then therefore Chinese BRI is not Chinese assistance. BRI is an international order. It's going to be emerged. So how do we fit in it is a question. What China is going to give is not a question. So we have to start. So we have to, in the days to come, we have to start thinking without reference to China, how we want to take benefit from BRI, and for that what our business community will do is the first thing, and what government will do is the second thing, and what the people will do is the third thing. So I think the priority is my questions to the business community. I wanted to say it. I also raised this little bit in the last time in Kusum in Management College when I was speaking. So there are a lot of business people today. Are you prepared? Are you developing a plan of action to use BRI? What are the priority projects that you have been talking about? So that we, the academicians, can do advocacy. We can go and lobby the government that these business people are doing very good. So we have to support you, academician, but we need your proposal in our hand to talk to the government. But I have not received any document from business community so far that BRI is going to be used by the business community this way. So this is how we want to work together with you. So I've been expecting this document, and then we will discuss in more detail component to component. So hopefully in the days to come, we will be discussing BRI on what proposal is prepared by the business community of Nepal, so that together we can lobby the government. You have to do it. And once we will do lobby, everybody will be together. Government cannot say no. So this is what I would like to stop at this point. If you have a questions later, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sangroula, for delivering.